Aloha! I'm Miss Phyllis and this is Miss Jan and we're from the library. Right now our summer reading program is going on and this year's theme is Dig Deeper, Read, Investigate, Discover. And so today we're going to investigate and discover scrap gardening, or regrowing vegetables from ordinary kitchen scraps. You don't have to buy any seeds, just vegetables from the produce department of your local grocery store or our commissary. Learn to start leaves and sprouts in water or soil, and replanting later on into larger containers as the plants grow. We have plenty of sun here in Hawaii, but not a lot of growing space. So container garden is recommended, and we want to make sure that we try to plant small vegetables that will fit in containers. Even though gardening does require work, we also want to have fun watching our plants grow. We don't have to follow the directions exactly. It's okay to experiment. Be patient. Not everything will grow as quickly as we think it should. So, what kind of supplies do we need? We need some clear glass bowls or glasses for starting plants in water. And we also need some potting soil and some inexpensive or recycled containers with holes in the bottom for drainage, and saucers to go underneath the containers, and finally, kitchen scraps. So here's a piece of romaine lettuce that we chopped about 3 inches from the base, and it if you look at it maybe a couple of hours after you cut it, it's going to start growing. Now what I've done, since it wouldn't stand straight in the water, I've added some toothpicks around it. This is an example of one that we did about a week ago. I cut it, and as you can see, it's got some lettuce growing up in the center. This is one that is ready to go in the soil. And this is called, it's a type of, it grows like a romaine, but this is like a green leafy lettuce. As you can see, and we have a little moisture in it, and we're stirring the soil around a little bit. We'll make a little well, and we will just pop this in here, and we'll add some more soil. So we'll just push the soil around it, and we'll give it some water. And here we are. We have another lettuce planted. So we have this lovely celery stump that we are ready to put in soil. You can see from the very bottom that there are some little roots coming out of the base of the stump. And of course we have these beautiful celery leaves coming up. So now it's time to plant. So we are just going to put it in the soil like that, and we will cover it with a little bit of soil and water it, and we have our celery planted. Very simple.
Hi everybody, and now we try to grow up some garlic. The garlic here we got just from the grocery store, and regular garlic. When you buy the garlic, you try to buy the clove as big as you could. That way, in that way, that they will grow up very healthy sprouts like this. And you can see the garlic, this is very big here. Here, you can see it. Also, this is the garlic. What we need to do is we're going to put them in the water. See how the glove big is? And after 2 weeks, they will grow up the sprouts like that. And then we're going to move them to the soil. So they're going to house grow, and you can, have cut this like a little herb, season, whatever you like. All right, right now I can show you right now is step by step how to do it. First, this garlics, you peel it. If you do not peel them, and that little this green spots are very hard to coming out. You see this one has a little curve there. That's when the first we didn't peel this well, so they kind of very hard to grow out. So we can peel them. Then we're going to put it in the water like this. All we need is this standing up. Make the bottom part in the water so they can grow up like little roots. And the other part, you see, they can get in outside. For making them standing up, we can use the small tree, just them like standing here. But for the garlic, they may be not easy to standing. So you also can have another way. We'll have toothpick in the home, and we can make them standing up together like this. Don't worry, they're not going to hurt. I just show you by example. In this way, see, they're standing up good. We want to this one is inside the water. So our next step is put some water inside. And then put it in the sunny window so they can do it. They can stand in the water very well. Okay, I just try to do this in the little example. You can do all of this is over the ball, or you can just pick a few, the big one, do like this. After 2 weeks, that way they grow up. You can see they have the roots. It's very strong here, grow up. Like this one, see? And they have little, sprouts coming out, a little green. And right now, we can pick up the strong one, like this one, and then we can put it in the soil just like this. When you put it in the soil, and you have to make them space, you cannot make them like this, standing up together. You need to make at least 1 inch around apart. When you put it in the soil, and first you can trim this little heart. If it's too much for you, you trim it. It's not going to hurt. You just cut them a little bit. Then you make a little part here. Here, I already have some soil there. You have a little part there. You can make a hole in the bottom. You can use the there's something make it, or you can just use the hand to dig a hole. Then you put this one in. And put the soil around. Here you are, you got it. So they will be grow up like this. I only make one as an example. So you can just plug another 2, 3 here. Like this part size, the base, you only can pick 3. Like here has one, here has another one. And the too close is not good enough for the grow. Then you put some water in. Move them to the sunny place, let them grow. And you watch them grow up very quick. Basically every day you can see they grow up a little bit. This one is 2 weeks. in the water, and this one is 3 weeks. After in the soil is only 1 week. So 2 weeks, and in soil 1 week, totally 3 weeks. Here we are. All right, thanks. Hope everybody tries some and have some fun.
Now we're going to plant one of these wonderful smelling basil cuttings. So we're going to take it from this jar and set it aside. In this bowl, we have prepared a well in the soil to make room for the roots. Then we're going to put some soil on it. And we're going to press down. Press down hard enough so that the stem is supported. Add a little water. And here we are. We're going to plant some cherry tomatoes today, but first I want to show you some that I've already planted. These were done about 3 weeks ago. And as you can see, they're getting very tall and slender, and I put some toothpicks to try and keep them standing up straight. Eventually they will need a stake or something, and as they grow, they're going to need bigger and bigger pots, probably a 5-gallon paint bucket after a while. This is another one that I recently planted, and the method that I'm going to show you, it came up, there was like a forest of tiny little tomato plants within 3 days of planting them. So I have my pot ready, and I have my knife and my cherry tomato, and cherry tomatoes are very easy to grow. And they have lots of free seeds in them. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice them into thin pieces. And as you can see, there are lots and lots of seeds. And with tomatoes, you never know which ones are going to actually work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these slices and we're going to put them pizza style in this little pot of dirt. And in about 3 days, we'll probably have some nice tomato plants. Okay. We'll put some soil on top, push it down. Some more water. And in about 3 days, we will have some tomato plants. We're going to plant some baby bell peppers. Holding in this jar, in this dish that I have some baby bell peppers that are ready to plant. The one thing I didn't know with the first baby bell peppers that I planted was that you have to let them dry. And then after they're dried very hard and not flexible at all, then you're ready to put them in the soil. So I mentioned something earlier about not being afraid to not do things exactly right. This is my first bell pepper plant. I did not let the seeds dry, but as you can see, I planted this almost a month ago, and it never came up, and I thought, it's not going to grow. And lo and behold, here it is. Interesting part is they look like tomato plants, And when I first planted the baby bells and the cherry tomatoes in different pots, I wondered if maybe I had planted the wrong thing. But they look like tomatoes as they start to come up. The one way to tell the baby bell peppers apart from the cherry tomatoes is that they have sturdier stalks, and the leaves are just a tad wider this way. So now I'm going to plant some baby bell peppers. I think what I'll do is I'll use 2 pots, and I will do half of the seeds in each one. So I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them. Like that. Half in one pot, half in the other. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Not too little, not too much, and then we'll just add a little more soil on top just to cover them. Tamp them down, add more water. Have to get the soil wet. So in about a week or so, we'll start to see some bell peppers start to come up. I bet you didn't know you could grow strawberries from strawberries. Strawberries have seeds all over them. And I'm going to show you how easy it is. So first we're going to cut the top, because with this stem there are still seeds around the top. Then we're going to carefully peel the outside of the strawberry. That's where the seeds that we're going to plant are. There we go. Now we're ready to plant. And thank you. So to plant, it's very easy. We have a pot full of soil. I'll put this in the middle. And just like we did with the tomatoes, we're going to put this around pizza style. So here are all the strawberry skins sitting in the pot. And so we're going to add some water. Now with strawberries, you don't want to bury them in the soil. I'm going to tamp this down a little bit. And then all you're going to do is put enough soil just to barely cover the berries. So we're just going to sprinkle it like this. And then we'll tamp it down. We still want to see the strawberries. So these take a very long time to grow, about a month before you start to see plants. I thought my strawberry plants were not going to work, but just the other day I had some sprouts. So this is the one we've just planted, and you'll expect it to take about 4 weeks. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this presentation on scrap gardening. Keep reading, investigating, and discovering. And akui ho aku until we meet again in the near future.